In between my current reads, I want to share books that I've read recently prior to my starting this book account and really wanted to discuss because I am of the mindset that books were made to be discussed, or that books are better when they are discussed. The Bone King and the Starling by Elizabeth Stevens was one of those books for me because it made me realize the importance of having authors of color in every single genre. I ran across the author's reel on Instagram where she bragged, and rightly so, about her best selling Viking romance book featuring a Black female lead. Being a connoisseur of spicy romances, I was intrigued and immediately purchased the book. Then it sat on my shelf for months before I started reading. But then I couldn't stop until I was done. Not just because it was really good, but because her voice was different than the ones I had been reading. In The Bone King and the Starling, we meet Starling, a woman of color living in a remote Viking village. She's a thrall, a servant, but more like a slave, who catches the attention of King Kalai, who has come to this village at the leading of the gods to get his bride, Starling. Though his intent is to make her his queen, he doesn't communicate it well, and she ends up being subjected to the ire of her mistress. This sets off a series of violent events that changes Starling's life. And I hope that this is taken as it's intended. But where I used to read indiscriminately, what I've discovered is that when I, as a reader, don't look like the author, the relatability of the protagonist is impacted. It's about seeing yourself in the pages of a book. And I'm not talking about situationally either. I can't relate to Starling's situation, but her experiences are something else. I gifted a copy of the book to my oldest daughter. She's 27. I didn't know at the time she had never read any spicy romances. So, stellar mom here, I gave her first spicy romance. Anyway, she read the book and she loved it, but it was my discussion with her that truly helped this hit home. There was a scene in the book where Kalai cares for Starling's hair, washing it, oiling it, combing it. My daughter, who is Afro-Latina, said that that acknowledgement made her feel seen. There were other parts in the book that she pointed out as well. After Starling was punished by her mistress, she's brought before the king, and he says, "Who struck you, Starling?" I shiver as his breath caresses the curve of my ear through my hair. The pressure of enormously large, warm hands covers my shoulders, covers my entire upper arms. He squeezes me gently, grounding me and reminding me that he knows my name. This is an acknowledgement that she hasn't received before. There are many other moments in the book where Starling was validated, and honestly, that's what kept me reading. I cannot speak for the author, but I feel like the treatment Starling received at the hands of Kalai was a love letter from her to her audience. That she wrote this book as an I see you to her readers. All of them, but especially women who look like her, like me, like my daughter, like the friends I shared the book with, like my daughter's friends with whom she shared the book with. Does that make books by my less melanated sisters any less impactful? No. What I see is that there's a difference. And at this stage in my life, I need more of that, more of what I can relate to, more of me in the pages of the book. Stories will hit differently because of that, and those will be the ones to change the trajectory of someone's world.